morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Today could be your lucky day. Everything will go your way. You might wake up with perfect hair, become an instant millionaire. You could even get a call from Sting, telling you he'd like to hear you sing. Maybe you could try that yoga thing. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Your entire house is clean and every traffic light is green. Your boss could call you up and say, work's been canceled for today. You could have your cake and eat it too. You might even lose a pound or two. Maybe you could try to play the kazoo. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Today could be your lucky day. Everything's gonna go your way. You might wake up with perfect hair, become an instant millionaire. Well, you could meet a spy and find romance. You might even win the Tour de France. Well, you might as well enjoy the dance. Good morning, sunshine. Buenos dias, rayito del sol. Good morning, sunshine.
Thank you, Terry Burns and Ron Kristy. Good morning, sunshine. It is a good morning, and we are happy that you are joining us today for a live stream service. I'm Justin Epstein, author of the top-selling book, Super You, and minister of the Unity Center of New York City. Welcome. And we are going to get going with some more singing, only this time you are going to join. We're all going to join together in singing. And this is going to be a clapping along song. I'm alive with the Spirit of God. And we have with us today also Eddie Watkins Jr. Welcome to all our musicians today. And so please join me now, and I'm alive with the Spirit of God.
Are you ready to rock out with the Spirit this morning? Here we go. I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am 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 alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. Clap your hands. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit. Woo! I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, live with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, live with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, live with the Spirit of God. Woo!
Yes, Eddie Watkins Jr. Now, I imagine you were clapping right along. If not, we're going to pray for you today. That was wonderful. And now, a few community highlights for you. We understand that an online experience doesn't compare to being in a worship, in fellowship, and we're taking as many steps as possible to help bring our message of healing and inspiration to you. For the time being, all of our services are being offered in full with additional weekly content for you to browse at your convenience. Important links are posted in the video descriptions, and you can rewatch any of our services at any time from the comfort of your own home. If you experience difficulties with one of our online platforms, please consider switching to another so that you can continue to watch without interruption. Please like us on Facebook to be the first to receive notifications for our weekly content. A Sunday service reminder post is live the entire week and pinned to the top of our page every Friday to make it easy for you to find. Feel free to browse our page for vegan recipes, a book of the week suggestion, a variety of live videos and clips, and for special announcements as they come up. Find us on YouTube, where you can view our full video library of Unity Center and Justin Epstein videos. Type the link below into a new tab on your browser to visit my channel, where you can subscribe and view all of the videos we're currently releasing, including the live meditations and mindful moments from Facebook, in addition to playlists sorted to help you find inspiration on a variety of topics. If you're already watching us on YouTube, please consider clicking the link in the lower right corner to subscribe to our channel and be the first to know when new videos are posted. Our new website is live and optimized for our new online ministry. We're happy to offer a fully redesigned site for your convenience with links to our live streams on both Facebook and YouTube, a chance to learn more about myself and the Unity Center, a convenient page to donate, and much more. Please visit us at unitycenternyc.com to learn more about us. And that's it for our community highlights. Now we'd like to take a moment for our prosperity celebration. Based on your feedback, we've made it easier than ever to support the Unity Center. If you believe in our mission of spreading the message of joy, healing, and positivity, please consider donating at the link shown below. You can also find a clickable link in the live chat role, in the video description under See More, and on our website, unitycenternyc.com. So we believe in the spiritual law of giving. The way shower and teacher Jesus the Christ taught, as we give, we receive. As we give, we open out a way through which more of this presence flows into every area of our life. Healing of the body, creativity of the mind, harmony in relationships, doors of financial and career and job abundance, and a greater experience of the presence within. So with that in mind, we bless our donations today. We bless our gifts, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Amen. And now for another song, a pre-meditation song. Meditation is a time where we quiet the mind and we open our heart. We believe that consciousness is everywhere present, including within you, expressing as you. And through getting still and quiet, you tune in to the presence. You tune in to the intelligence that's always expressing in and as you. So, our musicians, Burns and Kristy, are going to guide us in sort of a inspirational song, a meditative type of song to help lead us in to this guided meditation.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. Receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, from this we live.
I invite you now to sit upright as is comfortable for your body. And let's take a nice long deep breath. And as we exhale, we relax and we let go. Relax and let go. Become aware of your body so that you can begin to relax your body. Become aware of your feet and just send the message, relax, let go. Move your awareness to your calves and your thighs. Relax and let go. Let your abdomen and stomach relax. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Relax the muscles in your chest and in your back. Feel your body relaxing and letting go. Become aware of your neck, the front, the back, the sides. Relax the muscles in your face, your forehead, your cheeks, your eyes, your nose. Relax your scalp. from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Relaxing and letting go. And now scanning your body and seeing if there's any place that still needs to relax and to let go. You might want to gently tense and release that part of your body. Relax and let go. And now that we've relaxed the body, we're going to focus the mind. Bring your awareness to the flow of your breath as it moves in and out of your nasal passages. Just feel the flow of breathing. If that's difficult for you to do, then just focus on the rising and falling of your chest. Just observe your breathing flowing in, just as you would observe waves rolling in from the ocean, and then moving back out to the sea. Just watching your breathing. And now as your breath flows in, mentally think the words, I am. And as your breath flows out, spirit. I am spirit. When the mind wanders, just bring it back to watching the breathing. And now let's take a nice long deep breath. Just be with yourself, be in the stillness now. Noticing what you might be feeling, or what you might be seeing or hearing inside yourself. Just be present now to that place inside of you. And from this consciousness, we include our friends and family in this awareness of peace and harmony and well-being. Our friends. We include the planet Earth and every person on the planet. And all the animals and all the life. We acknowledge that there is just one consciousness underlying all form. And every person every creature, every plant, every flower, every rock is a form of consciousness in manifestation. So during this time, we project harmony and peace and order and love and joy. We sense and we know this as the underlying reality of all form. And we say yes. Yes to that awareness. Yes to that manifestation. And yes to the good unfolding through us into our life and into the lives of others. And so it is. Amen.
We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing, and we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be, as we discover each other and celebrate humanity. We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone. To a world that works for as we are walking together, love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for
Thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr. This past week, when I was thinking about what topic to speak on, I decided to, as I often do, I went into prayer and meditation, and I asked at the end of the meditation time, what should my topic be for next Sunday? And into my head popped Hamilton. And rather than dismiss it, I took it seriously. I sat down and I thought, well, if that is divine guidance that came to me, then what might I speak about on the movie or the play, if you saw it in the theaters, Hamilton? And ideas started to come. So that's what I'm bringing to you today, is 4 life lessons from Hamilton. And the first one is turn a disadvantage into an advantage. In the play, which by the way, I'm basing this message on what is brought forth in the movie by LinManuel Miranda and all the other very talented folks. So it's not rooted in the wonderful book, Alexander Hamilton, but rather on the show. And I see one idea that came to me, and there's probably many lessons we can take from this inspiring movie, and that is to turn a disadvantage into an advantage. In the movie, it talks about, there's a song by Aaron Burr, who is a friend and becomes an enemy of Alexander Hamilton, who talks about him being a bastard, a son of a whore, and, who is this guy? Well, because Alexander he was born out of wedlock, apparently, and his father left the family, and then his mother died when he was about 12, and he came over to America as an immigrant. So he came over and was at a disadvantage, some would say. And he succeeded not in spite of it, but my point today is that he succeeded because of his disadvantages. Alfred Adler, who was one of the great psychologists considered in the days of Freud and Jung, he was considered one of those top 3. And he based, unlike Freud, who felt that sex was the primary drive for everything, Adler believed that the inferiority complex, which a term he introduced, was actually the drive for a lot of people's achievement in life. He said that because people have a sense of inferiority, that they compensate. They go forth and they achieve great things because they compensate for some sense of inferiority. It's not just driving around a big truck or a fancy sports car, but rather other limitations and compensations. In fact, Adler says, it is the basis of my psychology that we can compensate for our deficiencies and thus transform a minus of our nature into a plus. And I believe it is to this universal ability to compensate for his weaknesses that man owes his unique character, his survival, and his hope for the future. Wow. Hope for the future. Alexander Hamilton was an immigrant with this past that was perceived as a weakness by others. And perhaps his drive was not only because he wanted to make a difference, not only because time was running out and he saw what was he going to do with coming onto the planet with nothing, but perhaps because of some of these stigmas that he was carrying around, he was driven to prove himself. He was driven to make a difference, to say, you know what, I've got greatness inside of me and I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to bring it forth. And according to Adler, a lot of people who have had some kind of disadvantages have been spurred on to great things because of those disadvantages. Apostle Paul in the Bible, he became a great missionary of Christianity. If it weren't for Paul, some historians say we may not even have had Christianity. It would have gotten knocked out. But because he went to other countries and brought the message, and because he was passionate and driven, it may not have ever even got here. And Paul had what was called, repeated over and over, a thorn in the flesh. No one knows exactly what that is. Some have speculated that maybe he had epilepsy, maybe he had seizures. He doesn't say exactly, but he had a thorn in the flesh. And it's not that he achieved great things despite his thorn in the flesh. Perhaps it was that very thorn in the flesh that drove him to great things. He wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will provide the way of escape. Now, we're not saying that God is giving us these challenges. I don't believe that. I don't believe God is giving us thorns in the flesh, but rather God is an activity, using Paul's words, in which we live and move and have our being. God is within you and expressing as you, and it's that very desire to grow, that very activity of spirit that wants to express through you, on some level, our deep desire to grow and to be more and to express our inner genius may attract situations. We may choose to be in situations that cause us to step up, to rise up, to meet the challenges. So many people achieve great things not because of their handicaps or in spite of their handicaps, but because of them. Now, I believe that's a very important lesson for all of us. Instead of just making excuses, as there are people, we have a choice. We have a choice. As L.C. Robinson said, things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the most important thing is what happens in you. We always have a choice. Are we going to make excuses? Alexander Hamilton could have. He could have said, I'm an immigrant. I'm stuck here. I can't get an education. He could have said, but with my background and my family, I don't have parents. I'm an orphan. Nobody expects much from me. I can't expect much from myself. No, he didn't do that. He could have. But instead, he had dreams and visions. He wanted an education. And by the law of consciousness, some call it the law of attraction, guess what? He attracted support. That he could go to America and get an education. LinManuel Miranda, the lyricist, the composer, the writer, he says in an interview that I watched, he talks about his father was from Puerto Rico. And his father had to work 4 times as hard as everyone else. in order to get halfway as far. Wow. And I bet that his father and the influence that his father had on him was not in spite of being an immigrant, but because of it. The challenges of it. The things that they had to learn, the things that they had to deal with, the things that they had to bring out more within them in order to do. And isn't this a wonderful demonstration in what Lynn has brought to the planet and all the talented people, the many ethnicities, the diversity expressed in this play, in this movie, the statement about women and the statement about immigrants and the statement about diversity. I mean, he goes against the grain in bringing this movie and going against the tradition of, well, you have to be realistic. The founding fathers need to be, white or represent whatever they look like. No. He represented diversity. Now, if his family hadn't had the challenge they had, maybe we wouldn't have this today. Turn a disadvantage into an advantage. As Alexander Hamilton in the play Hamilton, just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry. I'm not going to throw away my shot. And that's what we need. We need that desire and that choice to succeed because of our challenges. What are the challenges? What are the reasons that we might be giving ourselves of how come we can't succeed, of all the obstacles that we have? Yes, there are obstacles. And yeah, there may be big ones and there may be lots of things that we've got to deal with. But let's not make that an excuse. Let's succeed because of those things. Let them drive us. Let them bring out the best inside of us. Another life lesson is to do a lot of what you want to be good at. Do a lot of what you want to be good at. Hamilton was writing and writing and writing and writing. They make that point. It's not just because he was naturally bright, which I'm sure he was, but he became bright because of his writing and writing and writing. When you write, you use your thought process. You have to take thoughts and put them on paper and crystallize your thinking. Yes, he got better and better and better at writing because he wrote. When you study people who are writers, they say, well, you've got to write every day. Write every day. If you want to be a great writer, write and write and write and write and write. And that can be said about anything. Anything. People aren't just born, I'm a great writer. Yeah, some people are more talented than others. Some people have these natural gifts more than others. But any great person at anything, they do a lot of it. You might have read the book or heard of it, The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And he makes the point in there that anyone who becomes great at something, a master, has put in 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours, that's a lot of time, 10,000 hours. He uses the example of the Beatles. The Beatles performed in clubs and nightclubs and bars in, I believe it was Hamburg, Germany, 10,000 hours, at least, before they started to take off. You got to do a lot of what you want to be good at. Hamilton wrote and wrote and wrote. The pen was a source of power for him. And talking about compensation, they made the point in the movie that he tended to be blunt. He lacked some of the graces of like an Aaron Burr, the charm and other things. So he expressed himself in writing. And he did a lot of it so that he became brilliant and powerful and influential. Do a lot of what you want to do. What do you want to do? Well, you might say, I don't know what I want to do. Well, choose something and get moving. And then you'll be guided as to whether that's the thing for you to develop or not. God can't steer a parked car. Get moving. I recommend first thing in the morning, the thing that you most want to do it. If you want to write, then write. If you want to develop some other ability, then do lots of it. Next, be harmless, but use good judgment. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert, I'm going to be telling you something that happens to Hamilton. That's what you get for not paying attention in history if you don't already know this. All right, so now you know. So in the Indian teachings, ahimsa, nonviolence, is very important, right? To become a harmless person, to not want to cause other people pain, to not want to physically create pain. Ahimsa means nonviolence. We know about Gandhi, who had the Indian people express from nonviolence and freeing India from the British rule. We know about Dr. King, who did the same thing with the civil rights movement. Nonviolence, it's wonderful. In the movie, I loved how Hamilton did not want, he got into a duel. Spoiler alert again. He got into a duel and he didn't want to harm the other person. He didn't want somebody's blood on his conscience. So he fired into the air. Well, it didn't go well for him because of that. I won't tell you exactly what happened, but it didn't go well. And I believe he could have used better judgment. And I believe this is an important message for people of consciousness, for people who want to develop their awareness, who want to be harmless, who want to bring good to the planet and don't want to harm other people. I believe this is an important message because he wasn't a good judge of character on Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr was resentful. Aaron Burr was vengeful. Plus, Burr was a poor shot by his own admission, and Hamilton was a war veteran who had his glasses on, like he wanted to see who he was going to shoot. That wasn't good judgment. And Hamilton didn't recognize that this guy wanted to do him in. So as a person of consciousness who wants to come from your inner guidance and your higher power, that's very important. But remember what Jesus the Way Shower said. Be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. Be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. In other words, use discrimination. Use judgment about people. Yes, be harmless. Yes, follow our divine guidance, but also recognize that you can, although you know the truth for another person and you know that they also are an expression of consciousness, they may not be at that level. By knowing that they are consciousness, you will draw some good out of them, but again, it's still their choice. They may be at a different consciousness than you are, and you've got to deal with that. Jesus knew he was dealing with a certain consciousness. He knew that he was going to get crucified, but he was committed to his mission. He could slip out of a crowd if he needed to. We've got to know who we're dealing with. At one time in my life, when I had I was dealing with a cast of characters, and I was talking to a coach who was into consciousness and so on. She told me, forgive my crude language, she said, don't get into a pissing contest with a skunk. In other words, Justin, don't let yourself get into the ways that they're doing, because you won't win, because that's not who you are. That's not how you function. You've got to come from your integrity, and you've got to know who you're dealing with. And that's true in living in the world. You want to live spiritual life, but you got to be wise as a serpent and know who you're dealing with. So, can you think of another instance, at least another instance in the movie or the play, when Alexander could have used better judgment? I can. I just want to see what you think. Please put down in the comments, where could Alexander have used perhaps better judgment? I know I'm making a judgment on that, but I think that he could have used better judgment in firing into the air. Maybe find another way around the whole situation. So use disadvantages to spur you on, to express your greatness. Do a lot of what you want to be good at. Be harmless, but use good judgment. Follow your guidance and direction and listen to it. And 4, use the power of forgiveness. They made the point in Hamilton that Alexander was kind of a frisky guy. And teachers, sages have taught that a lot of geniuses have a lot of sexual energy. A lot of dynamic people have a lot of sexual energy. And as Napoleon Hill points out in Think and Grow Rich, we want to be balanced in the expression of that energy, and we can channel that energy into whatever we're doing. Hamilton channeled it into his goals and into the vision that he had, into his writing, but he also let it express in other ways. And he ended up cheating on his wife, Eliza. Spoiler alert. She could have become bitter and resentful. She was in the beginning. She was deeply hurt. She had been loyal to him. She had been honest to him. She had been supportive of him. But when another tragedy happens in their life, Alexander needs her, and she needs him. And in a beautiful scene, she forgives. And you could see which was so beautifully portrayed in the movie, how it impacts Alexander. Bitterness, resentment ruins lives. It ruined the life of Aaron Burr. He could have accomplished so much more had he not let bitterness and resentment drive him and the desire for vengeance. Bitterness, resentment affects one's health. Bitterness and resentment held on to impacts the flow of creativity. It blocks our good. God can only do for you what she can do through you. It's like a kink in a hose. Resentment, bitterness is like a kink in the hose. It blocks the flow of good. And Eliza forgave. Is there anybody in your life that you've are holding on. You're telling a story over and over in your mind, and it brings up all these old hurts inside of you. Be willing to let it go. Surrender it to that higher power inside of you. Allow the intelligent consciousness to cleanse you. Write a different story. Tell a different story for yourself. Focus on something else when you want to start expressing that story. Eliza saw the goodness within Alexander. She knew the genius in Alexander. And she knew there was a loving heart, a man committed to bringing forth a beautiful vision on the planet. She knew that was there. She believed in that. Yeah, she was hurt. Yeah, she doesn't approve of that behavior. Forgiveness doesn't mean you approve of the behavior. It means that you want to be free. And she, in fact, says there's a grace too powerful to name. There is a presence within you that can help free you so that you can be free of the burden and the chains of bitterness and resentment. She wouldn't have done the great things she did had she held on to that bitterness and resentment. She went on to live 50 more years. She promoted Hamilton's thousands of pages of writings. She spoke out against slavery. She started the first private orphanage in New York City. And she could see Hamilton's eyes in those hundreds of immigrant children. She made a difference that never would have happened had she not found the grace and the power within her to forgive. You too can unfold your greatness. You too are here for a reason and a purpose. Hamilton was not just a genius. That genius lies within all of us. It's just that Hamilton believed in it. And regardless of the limitations, he acted upon it. And you and I can do the same.
The sun is shining through the trees. Birds are singing on the breeze. I got my heart to lead the way. Oh, oh, lucky day. Now I'm skipping down the street.
It's my lucky day.
I got wings upon my feet. No matter what the headlines say. Oh, oh, lucky day. I'm in no hurry. I got no worries. Got all I need. I feel the magic all around.
It's my lucky day.
In the sky and on the ground. What a wonderful wonderful cliche. Oh, oh, lucky day. I'm in no hurry. I got no worries. Got all I need. See the sunlight through the trees. It's my lucky day. Birds are singing on the breeze. I got my heart to lead the way. Oh, oh, lucky day. Lucky day. Lucky day.
Thank you, Burns and Kristy. It is a lucky day. I'm going to go out and buy me a lottery ticket today, right? Aren't you? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much to Burns and Kristy and Eddie Watkins Jr. It has been a delight having you on today. Also, I want to mention, if you'd like to deepen your understanding of consciousness, I would love for you to get yourself a copy of my book, Super You. I wanted to take the 7 essential ingredients of the spiritual path and put it into one book so that you wouldn't have to spend 30 years reading all these different books and going to all these different teachers to try to discern what the important ingredients of the spiritual path are. I put them into one book, and you can get that book on Amazon. So please do that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Super You, 7 Steps to Profound Peace and Personal Power. Let us go forth today now, claiming the genius that is in all of us. It's a unique genius that's expressing as you. We don't have to compare ourselves to others. We're just here to discover our own innate genius. And I know and trust that you go forth today and every day to let whatever the disadvantages are in your life to be a stimulus that spurs you on to continue, like the founding fathers, to have a vision for yourself, a vision of what you can be. And I see you moving forward to claim that vision. And so it is. Amen. Let us join together in knowing the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. And now please join us for singing the peace song. And the whole point of this is where peace begins. If we want a peaceful planet, peace begins with you. We'll see you next time for a live stream service.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin.